John Edmonds, a psychiatric counselor who moved to Arizona in his early 30s, where he opened. He was a psychiatric counselor who moved to Arizona in his early 30s, where he opened up a practice. Mm-hmm. This is where he met his wife, Joyce. Joyce worked in a clerical capacity at the Arizona headquarters of the FBI. Mm-hmm. In the mid-90s, John became tired of the city life and decided to make a change. For both of them, of course. Yep. He and Joyce would move out to rural Arizona, in an attempt for John to realize his dream of owning a ranch and horses. He contacted a realtor, and this is where the legend of Stardust Ranch commences. Ooh. I wrote begin, but I wanted to use a big word. So, early days.
Use a big word.
Yes. So the early days were riddled with some
dysentery.
High strangeness, I guess we would call it.
Okay.
But we're going to start with them buying the house. How about that?
Sure.
Because of the limitations of what they could afford with their budget, the realtor was limited to showing them a couple ranches in the county of Buckeye, roughly 45 minutes west of Phoenix.
Okay.
The realtor showed them a ranch that John deemed perfect. The main house was 3,500 square foot, big house, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, huge living room, giant kitchen, which he states in the book would be perfect for Joyce, and she was delighted.
That's
sexist bastard, right?
That's a little dated, if you ask me.
It had an in-ground pool and 10 acres of land where he could have horses and dogs and large stable in the back that would accommodate 20 or so horses.
What about
everything he needed?
What about chickens?
Fuck chickens, all right? Chickens are tiny. They can just go wherever they want.
Goats?
Goat man is Tennessee.
Sheep.
I don't know goats anymore.
I don't know goats anymore. I'm not as close with them as I'd like to be.
After that episode of Top Gear, I can't look at them and say.
I cannot associate with their kind. So called outy things.
Right, Christ. So the price was extremely low for the amount of house they were getting.
Yep.
The realtor kept calling it the deal of a lifetime.
Great.
And that it was the current owner's vacation home, which was why the house was completely furnished from kitchen to bath. Everything was there. The thing about wanting something really bad and having it put right in front of you is that you don't ask questions. Mm-hmm. All of your discernment goes away. Joyce wasn't thrilled about the place. That was a large spit. She wasn't thrilled about the place and had a bad feeling right from the get-go.
A bad feeling about this.
As she did. The whole fucking time they lived there, all I kept listening to was, Joyce didn't have a good feeling about this, and she really wanted to move, but I didn't want to argue, so blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, we get it. She didn't want to be there.
She didn't like it.
I don't know what it is.
But I don't like it.
But after talking, they decided to buy it. He mentions multiple times throughout the book that she was uneasy about the place and that he, looking back, was too stubborn, and Joyce's intuition was right, as we will see as everything unfolds over the next 2 episodes.
She is smart.
Well, just intuition. Listen to your intuition, people.
Yes.
So the contract was signed, and he put his entire life savings into it.
Oh.
Good choice.
Yeah.
A month later, they packed up all their belongings into a rental truck and moved into their new house. He unlocked the gate door and drove down the laneway, feeling like a kid in Christmas morning.
Oh, boy.
Oh, goody, goody. What's going to be in the house? Well, when he opened the front door and walked inside the house, they were both startled to find that all of the furniture was still sitting in the house. Everything.
I mean, is it a bonus? Like, is that good? You don't have to pay for shit.
We're going to find out, aren't we? Well, if you didn't already have all your own shit, where are you going to put that stuff?
I mean, if it's shittier, you sell whatever's shittiest.
Shit.
This guy's got a sectional with a giant-ass leg rest, and I just have a piece of shit love seat.
Look at this thing. It's falling apart.
Look at it. It's immaculate. Keep that, son of a bitch.
Everything was there from kitchen appliances to the TVs.
Fucking sold.
I know. I wouldn't be so pissed off about it.
This guy's got a 4K Roku TV.
Well, 1997. I don't think that existed, but yeah.
That's why it's fancy.
Fantastic. It's from the future. With all the contents still in the house, they had nowhere to put their stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, they rented a truck, And it cost extra, obviously, to hold the truck for another day while they figured out what the fuck to do with all the stuff.
Yep.
So frustrated and worried that the family may have changed their mind, John called the realtor. The realtor, in disbelief, suggested they go to town, have lunch, just kill time. So they went to lunch. They went to a movie. He said they saw Mission Impossible for a reference of what time that is.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Came back.
It's pretty good.
In about 3-4 hours. They came back in the evening. I don't know how many hours that was. They said they left in the morning and came back in the evening. While the realtor would try to solve the issue. They returned in the evening, and to their surprise, everything was gone in the house. But it was no small job, and they were surprised that the realtor was able to pull it off, as that would be a large task.
Yeah.
A 3,500 square 3,500 square foot house, fully furnished, all gone in a matter of a half day.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty dope.
Hire them.
Got yourself a goddamn deal, sir. You must be making a lot of money.
Fucking move anything.
They decided to unpack the truck in the morning, and they would just pull out mattresses so they could just spend the night there and kind of rest up for the night. But before going to bed, John decided to take a walk around the property to check it out. When he went out back and turned on the light, to his surprise, there in the dry in-ground pool was everything that was in the house when they arrived.
The fuck?
Why would whoever came to move everything put it in the pool? If they didn't want the stuff, they surely could have sold it and made some money off it, or just donated it. Just anything other than putting it in the fucking pool.
The fuck? Yeah, it's normal.
Hey, I would do it.
Where should we put this stuff? I don't know. There's a big-ass garbage can out there, guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking huge.
Fucking dumpster.
This place is cool.
Well, what he was saying is it took more effort to put it in the pool than it would just to take it out front into a fucking
for
truck.
sure, yeah.
So as John and Joyce... I'm going to read this line as I wrote it.
All right.
As John and Joyce, and as they stared...
Beautiful, beautiful.
As John and Joyce stared in disbelief at the contents of the pool, John called the realtor back. He stated that he didn't know what did this and that he wasn't able to reach the previous owner. So it wasn't them.
He called him. He's like, yeah, I don't know how to tell you this, but this is somehow worse than before. He goes, I don't know what you did, but this is worse.
Yeah, and he said he couldn't get a hold of anybody. He didn't call anybody to remove the stuff. It just, the owner's landline was not in working order. The previous owner's landline was not in working order anymore, so he was just as baffled.
Cool.
John exclaimed that I skipped a line. I said none of that.
Oh.
He stated that they had realtor stated that he had some really nice stuff there for free, as Lennon did. John exclaimed that he had his own stuff, and what was he supposed to do with a pool full of furniture and appliances? The realtor's response was, John, it's not my problem anymore. You paid cash for the house, your problem.
I see this as a win-win.
Yeah.
Unless that stuff was shitty.
He didn't specify. He said it was really nice stuff that was worth probably about $10,000.
There you
go.
go.
In 1997. So whatever
there
that
you
is.
go.
Now.
Well, with our shitty-ass inflation, that's probably quite a bit.
And he even said that in hindsight, he should have not even called the realtor he didn't give a shit, and just should have called a salvage team or someone to come and buy it, and he probably could have made money off it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he was worried that the owners made a mistake and wanted to make sure. He was doing the right thing, all right? He's a good man.
Good guy.
Good man. So over the next week, they removed everything from the pool and put it out by the road for people to take. For free, still. Now let's start getting to really some fun stuff now. The incident with the contents of the house left John out of sorts, and it dawned on him that there are aspects to living in a remote location that he had not accounted for, specifically safety. So John bought a gun. He was not a gunman. This was his first gun he bought, and this was the first of many guns he would purchase since moving into Stardust Ranch, which apparently they moved out of in 2022. After a long time of trying to sell it since the 2010s.
Right.
But that's for later.
Yes.
Let's not skip ahead.
Real quick.
Absolutely.
Stardust Ranch, 9 out of 10 points for a dope-ass name.
I know. I think he came up with it, too.
Like, I don't know
who came up with it. It wasn't called that when they moved in, though.
Yeah. I want like a big piece of property someday,
Mm-hmm.
like whether it's a big house or a house on a bunch of land,
You want to call it Commune Ranch, don't you?
so I can name it.
Yeah, you can name this place. This
Shithole.
apartment. This apartment's called Shithole. Welcome to my shithole.
Ah, fuck. We can't have the same name as my dog be the apartment name.
That's not nice. Brocky is not bad.
Hey, no, he does. He's a never-ending. He's a never-ending pile of shit coming out of him.
He is. I don't have to deal with that though. I just have to deal with. My nickname for him is Red Rocket. So
he's an excited boy.
how you doing?
He means well.
I do love him.
He's a kind soul.
a very happy dog, and that's unusual. Not unusual. That's,
He's so unusual.
okay, I'm gonna move on. The
Moving
dog
on.
is great. I love Brocky.
Someone's got it.
Sometime during the second month on the ranch, when Joyce was at work, John saw someone start walking down the laneway while he was walking outside. Or working outside, not walking outside.
Hey, buddy! Private property.
This man wore a military-style shirt with sleeves cut off, dirty jeans, black work boots, yellow teeth, 2-week-old, or I think he said like 2-week salt and pepper scruff, mangy hair. Basically, he looked like a hobo Willie Nelson.
All right. I can see where it's going.
So they walked towards each other, met about 10 feet apart at the laneway. Yeah.
Just slow motion running.
And what caught John's attention the most was the fact that this hobo Willie Nelson was carrying a 24-inch machete in his hand, unsheathed.
God damn.
Yeah, just